Man, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Josh?
Yeah, it's good to see you again, bro.
Likewise, brother.
That was an awesome meeting last night.
Yeah, man.
I was just so excited about the turnout and everything. I was glad to see you there.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed your song at the end, man. That joint, I woke up with it in my head this morning.
Yeah, that's positive, man. It's positive vibrations. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Maybe we can catch up. I wanted to hear a little bit more about what you do, man. I know you're busy in the community doing your thing.
Yeah, man. I'm trying, man. Doing my thing, man. Just reaching out, mobilizing the communities, man. One community at a time. But it's all one community, so I can knock them all out at once.
All right. You know how to get over there by the dry rocks and stuff?
Yeah. What, tomorrow morning?
Yeah, let's check me tomorrow morning. Let's catch up.
Okay, that's cool. I can do that.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. Peace.
It was really, really hard trying to understand the dynamics in the culture here in Richmond. But by the grace of the Most High, I was able to connect with some really interesting people. Here's one of them.
We want peace. We want justice.
That's what we want, man.
Yeah, man. I like that joint.
It's a nice view out here, right?
Yeah.
We're out here on the James. It's a nice view.
A lot of people talk about trying to get in touch with real people and help those who really need.
So how is it out here in Richmond, though? I mean in Virginia in general.
That's a good question. Southside Virginia is a whole different state compared to Central Virginia. And Northern Virginia is a different state compared to Central Virginia.
Right. I noticed it's like it's like a whole bunch of different cultures all separated with their own little cliques and everything, their circles. But tell me about yours.
My cliques, my circle are diverse. I'm just a loving person. I love people. I do. Sometimes I could be introvert. But, I'm still kind of stuck in that first question. With the first sentence about Richmond. It's a tale about two different Richmonds. And there's one Richmond. We need to stick together and bring more unity in Richmond alone.
Yeah.
My experiences in Richmond weren't all good, weren't all bad. But it wasn't nothing I couldn't deal with.
Yeah, I mean, you made it out with no felonies, no nothing. You got a clean record.
Yeah.
You did all right.
I moved here on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2016, with $1.37 in my pocket, a duffel bag, and a drink. No car, no job. 6 months later, own apartment, car. No longer with the same people I was working with, but I have a lot more hope now.
Right.
Because there's so much that I can do. In Richmond, by being here, my journey in Richmond, I just focus on what I can do.
Right.
No matter what I lost or what I gained.
Right.
I try to stay focused on the positivity of what I can do and reaching out to the people. Our people, the black community. And I always joke around with my black friends that everyone wants to be, hate to say the N-word, but everyone wants to be black, but they don't want to be black. And when I say that, I'm talking about a lot of people, they think they're a part of the culture because they know rap songs or they can dress a certain way, but it's more to that.
Right.
It's
a lot more.
You said, hold on.
I said it's a lot more.
Yeah.
superficial to think it's just about the way you dress or the way you talk. Being black is like it's more than just a lifestyle or a classification
And
category. You know,
yes,
it's
sir.
coupled with the experience of being oppressed. You know, but that's one thing that you worked against the getting felons their rights back. What was that about?
Oh wow. Well, I started my fight with restoration of rights, just realizing how much it hurt me. When I'll never forget the time I asked my uncle, was he going to vote? And he told me no, he couldn't vote. And I'm looking at him like, why? Like, he's a good man. When I was down and out of a job, this was the person that looked out for me. This is the person that gave me an income when no one else would hire me.
Wow.
I saw how he took care of family, and there was nothing in my mind that like just made me think, hey, this is a bad person. And I never even thought of him being a felon.
Wow.
Until my mom told me, my grandmother told me about an event that occurred in the 1950s in Southside Virginia, in a small town called Freeman, Virginia. Freeman is the place that I call the capital of Emporia and Lawrenceville, Virginia. The Belfield and Hicksford district. He was jumped by a 10 white man, cut his way out, and he was charged with felony.
Wow. Wow. So they were attacking him
Yes,
for what?
because he was black in the area that he was in at the time.
Wow. Wow. See, this is what I was talking about. Let's take this in for a second. Yes, look at this view. This is usually like a waterfall right here. When the river's a little higher, it pours over like a waterfall. And this whole area is like, this is part of the system that they were using to try to make the hydropower plant. This is a really beautiful view over here on the James, man. Crazy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So my fault, I cut you off.
Oh, it's all good.
You was talking about
Yeah, I was talking about my uncle, in Southside Virginia, how he was a good man, and I never thought of him being a felon. And I remember it was 2011. He was at the house. He was giving people rides to the polls. He stopped by to bring me something to eat. I didn't ask him for anything to eat, but he brought me a plate. His wife was selling dinners that day because she knew it was a busy day for a lot of people. A lot of people couldn't get out to eat, so they were giving people rides. They were giving people rides to the polls and feeding them as well. He dropped off a plate. I said, "Hey, how you doing, Uncle Lamont?" He was like, "Hey, what's up, boy?" And I was asking him, I was like, "Hey, you voted today?" He was like, "No, I can't vote." And I was like, "Why?" I was like, "I'm a felon." And it hurt. It really hurt.
Wow.
Now, after that, I just kept thinking about what I could do. And 2014, Governor McDonald of Virginia, he allowed felons, nonviolent and violent, he gave them a chance to get their civil rights back if they paid all of their fines, they weren't on probation or parole. And
That makes sense. Like,
out, of course, but it was still a process because there was a lot of people who didn't pay their fines, and it was still a fight within a fight.
right.
2016, Governor Terry McAuliffe made it a better process. April 22nd, 2016, Governor Terry McAuliffe signed an executive order where felons, nonviolent and violent, will have their civil rights restored in the state of Virginia, as long as they weren't on probation or parole.
Oh, so they took the fines out.
Yes,
All right.
that made it better. I was starting to feel better about humanity, America, Virginia.
Right. Because it's just right.
Governor Terry McAuliffe, he restored rights for felons, nonviolent and violent, April 22nd, 2016.
Okay.
July 22nd, 2016, on the weekend, I'll never forget it. I took a ride to the country to go visit my family, and I ended up taking a nap. I remember waking up in the middle of the night and just seeing that the executive order of the restoration of rights, well, for the restoration of rights, had been overturned by the Supreme Court.
What?
And it felt like a knife was in my heart. It really did. Because I knew what I was carrying my mission out for. I was doing it in remembrance of my uncle who passed in 2014. I was doing it in his remembrance. And to be honest, the job that I had been working with, we had a big voter registration project going on. And when I first started back doing the voter registration, February 2016, my focus was college students. Because I knew they would be easier to get, register to vote. There would be more people for me, bringing in good numbers. And once that executive order was signed, my main focus was felons. And I knew most of the people that I had registered to vote were felons or just changing their address.
So let me get this straight. You were registering felons to vote by doing what?
That was them having their civil rights back.
Oh, okay. Oh,
They didn't have to go to the office of the Secretary of the Commonwealth or call up there anymore.
Wow.
In the executive order, they were just clear. They could just automatically register to vote.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And they didn't even know that, I bet.
A lot of them didn't know. And just explaining to them and seeing their facial expressions change, and a lot of them that had no hope, who thought that it wouldn't matter anyway, they were all in. But once it was overturned in July, it was really hard to try to get those people to register to vote again, because some people had never voted a day in their life.
Wow.
Never had their civil rights. They had lost them in their teen years. A lot of these people are in their 60s and 70s now.
Wow.
Yes. I met this one lady, 82 years old, never voted a day in her life.
Wow.
And a lot of people will start bringing up the conversation of how black people are oppressed. But they can't tell you how and why.
Right. That's true.
Delegate Carter Glass of Lynchburg, Virginia in 1902 made a statement to eliminate the darkie, the blacks, the colored people from the political process. And that was 1902. It's 2016, and this is still going on.
Oh, man.
People talk about how they're so woke and they're waking up now. It doesn't take much. Just go through history. A lot of people say it's his story, but no, this is our story too.
That's right. That's true. And as we work and we live and we move forward, we're making history. You know, the work that you did made history. Felons got their right to vote back, and you had a part to play in that. That's awesome.
Yes,
So I
sir.
mean, what are you doing now?
What I'm doing now, I'm still focusing on. Now that I'm in Richmond, I'm focusing on the rough neighborhoods of the biggest sections of public housing in Virginia. Virginia has one of the biggest public housing units on the East Coast. Goes by the name of Gilpin Court.
Okay.
They're not high rises, but it's the biggest set of public housing on the East Coast.
Wow.
And there's about 748 units and 8 homes to each unit.
Wow. Wow.
I do a lot of door knocking. I go to churches. I go to the neighborhood church, Greater Mount Moriah Baptist Church. I join in the feedings. I feel these people emotionally, and I give them knowledge that I know to empower them.
Right.
And I mobilize these people by just talking to them. Sometimes people just need someone to talk to them.
To connect with, yeah. We all living in a bubble, it seems like sometimes. Living in a bubble, like in our own little corner of reality. because we feel like we can't connect, and that's one thing that I appreciate about people like you who work to build those connections.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the fight must continue.
Yeah.
I've built a lot of relationships and structure
Mhm.
with the people in the Gilpin area, joined other nonprofit organizations in the fight to restore civil rights.
Right. Yeah, I saw you. Because the work has to be done.
Yes, I'm willing to do it. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she's nice. We on the James.